The idea, insight, or secret you need for massive impact is just moments away. It's time to claim your career crown. The podcast where business owners and entrepreneurs share the keys to the kingdom to help you open the vault to your greater success. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Petite to Queen's Claim Your Career Crown podcast. I'm your host, Lynn Whitbeck, and today I'm joined by an absolutely superstar of a guest, Louie Sharp. And we're going to be talking about how to ensure your car repair protects your investment and loved ones. You know, no one wants to be in a car accident. Yet, if it happens, there is a lot more under the fender when repairing your car. If you get a ton of value out of this episode, I would love to invite you to subscribe because it costs nothing to subscribe. Now, I want to tell you about Louie because Louie is wired to help people. He's been serving others non-stop since the 1970s when he served all of us in the United States Marine Corps. After active duty, Louie became a full-time apprentice body man with Scott's Auto Body in Arlington Heights, Illinois. And in 1981, he opened Sharp Auto Body and committed himself and everyone at Sharp to excellence and well-being in everything they do. Safety, integrity, and outrageous customer service are the keys to his success. ICAR certified, Louie is a graduate of the Automotive Management Success Program, an active member of Automotive Service Association, as well as DuPont's Performance Alliance and 20 group programs. That is a whole lot of car knowledge. And Louie, I am so thrilled to have you here today.
Thanks, Lynn. I appreciate the invitation. I'm excited to be here too.
Well, and this is such an important topic that many people don't know a lot of ins and outs until they're in the situation. But taking a step back, Louie, I'd love to hear about what inspired you to get started and to open your own shop, Sharp Auto Body.
Sure. That's a short version of that story is I was really tired of working for people that didn't care and were more self-centered than they were about helping people and looking out for their employees. I actually, at Scott's Auto Body, he had a company meeting and said that he wanted to make $50,000 more for himself, but couldn't afford to give anybody a pay raise. And so I immediately, yeah, right, exactly. I immediately stood up and told him, I want my check, I'm done. And like 14 or 15 other employees were like, well, what are you doing? I said, did you hear what he just said? He wants us to all work harder and there's no reward for us. So that was really the impetus that got this whole thing started all those years ago.
Wow. I mean, and that is, you know, you can't succeed unless everyone on your team is also succeeding.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And not just everyone on your team, but all your clients, your customers as well. Now, let's really dive into this because, you know, most of us are vehicle owners. And when we do get into that situation, often it's the first time ever where we've been shaken up. We've got some stress, some emotions tied up. And how can we ensure that our car repairs are done right, that they're high quality, and that they protect our investment and our loved ones once the repairs are done?
So that's a lot to unpack in one question, but I'll start with the scene of the accident. At the scene of the accident, you always want to call the police. I've seen more people lose money at the scene of the accident than anywhere else in the process. So you want to have some documentation. The next piece of it is, I would say, you do not, and I repeat, you do not want to listen to where the insurance company is telling you where to go. The insurance company is telling you to go to a specific shop because the insurance company has their best interest, AKA the lowest, cheapest price for them. not a quality repair for you, not a repair that's going to keep your family safe, not a repair that's going to maintain the value of the vehicle. And so my first piece of advice is don't listen to where the insurance company tells you where to go. There's some things that you really need to look for in a repair shop these days. As you mentioned, we are ICAR, not only ICAR certified, but we're gold class ICAR. We're also OEM or manufacturer. OEM stands for original equipment from the manufacturer, or OE. So we're manufacturer certified across about, I think at this point, 11 or 12 different car lines. And so those are the kinds of things you want to look for in a repair facility before you start looking to decide who's going to fix it. The other thing to keep in mind is that through the process, the days of getting an estimate, and you kind of alluded to this at the beginning, the days of needing an estimate are pretty much gone. There isn't a vehicle anymore. I shouldn't say that, but I would say maybe 10% of the vehicles that we repair, we can see all the damage visibly and write something that's going to be accurate to the total repair cost. The other 90%, they need to be disassembled so that we can itemize, identify, and then list all those damages.
Yeah, so that's all the additional things that you wouldn't see on the surface. But once you get in and you're starting to go through it, you can find some pretty significant damage that could also be impacting the safety of the vehicle. Isn't that correct?
Oh, yes, without a doubt, Lynn. That's a very good point. I actually had a lady come in with a Toyota Camry, and she had some rear bumper damage. And to look at it, it looked like $1,500, $2,000 worth of damage. Once we got that rear bumper off of the vehicle, we found another $7,400 worth of damage that was literally invisible until the vehicle was disassembled. And you hit the nail on the head at that point, especially on bumpers these days. They've got blind spot monitors behind them. That's part of the ADAS, advanced driver assisted systems. And so that blind spot monitor shoots radar, literally a radar image through the bumper cover, looking for vehicles in the blind spot, right, where you can't see them.
Right.
And so a lot of manufacturers, and this is a really good example of why you want to be dealing with a repair body shop that knows exactly what they're doing. Most of these bumper covers now, per the manufacturer, cannot be repaired, because when you repair it, even by repainting it, you make the bumper cover thicker. And by making the bumper cover thicker, that radar signal that's coming out of the blind spot monitor looking for vehicles is now distorted and can't be calibrated correctly. So that's a great example of not only what you're talking about, hidden damage, but also the components that are underneath there that need special care, attention, and calibration to get the vehicle back to pre-loss condition, so that we all know that if you're doing 75 miles an hour down the expressway and there's somebody in your blind spot, we know that you're going to see them with the system designed, engineered, and built the way it was supposed to, so that you're not going to change lanes and hit somebody at 75 miles an hour.
Yeah. Or even backing out of your driveway and not see someone on a tricycle. I mean,
Exactly.
horrible. So this is a huge safety issue, not only for your own family and loved ones, but for everyone around you.
Right.
So I'm really curious, because it sounds like you have a very specific process that you go to identify every piece of what has happened to the car, and also to protect that financial investment in the vehicle, in the sense of maintaining the warranty and how that is going to come into play. So could you, or in diminished value. So could you walk us through that process?
Sure. So that's we have, to your point, we do everything with processes here, and regardless of whether it's a smaller claim or damage to a larger claim or damage, the process is always the same. And the thing you're specifically referring to is a thing called 100% disassembly or blueprinting. So what we do is we do a number of things previously. So we scan the computers for DTCs, diagnostic trouble codes. We pre-measure the vehicle. I explain to people it's much like going to the emergency room. If you were to fall out of a tree and hurt yourself, the doctor and nurses, they're going to take some vital signs. That's us scanning the computers in your car to see if there's any faults in the electronics. and then we pre-measure the unibody and the frame. That would be like the doctor or the x-ray technician taking an x-ray of your arm because you said your arm hurts since you fell out of the tree. They're going to take an x-ray to make sure you didn't break a bone.
Right.
So we do those things up front. And then before we even start the disassembly process, our technicians do what we call research the repair procedures. So we go in and we have access to a database for what all the manufacturers say, this is the way it's supposed to be done. And these are the things we have to do. These are the kind of parts we use. So we research that repair procedure from top to bottom of all the things that we know. It's not uncommon for a technician to go back to the repair procedures as they disassemble it, because as they disassemble it, like I said with that lady's Toyota, they're going to find additional damage that they couldn't see up front. So they got to research the repair procedures on how do we take this apart? What can we use? A lot of manufacturers now have one-time use only parts. So once you take it off the vehicle, you can't reuse it. You have to replace it, even though it doesn't have damage. It's really important. Even though it does not have damage from the accident, it has to be replaced. So these are all the things that we're doing and identifying in this 100% disassembly, or what we call the blueprinting procedure, so that we get an itemized, accurate list of exactly what's wrong with the car, exactly what needs to be done to the vehicle, and why it needs to be done.
Yeah. I mean, because a part might not look damaged, but it could still have some kind of structural integrity that could have been impacted. And you want to maintain the warranty on your vehicle, and the long-term value, because a car for many of us is one of the biggest investments that we make. And I know that you've talked about this before, about diminished value and what that means. I'd love to hear a little bit about that.
Sure. So if your car's been in an accident, it's going to have something called diminished value. How much diminished value it has is going to be based on how well it's been repaired after the collision or the damage occurred. And so as an example of that, and I'm going to tie two things together for you here. One is the value of the vehicle and the other is the warranty. So every manufacturer, and I want to be very specific and very clear, and I mean literally every manufacturer, the European imports, the Asian imports, all the American made, all of them are saying exactly the same thing. The warranty on your vehicle is void if you use anything besides OEM, original equipment parts, OEM, original equipment from the manufacturer. So we can't use a used fender, an aftermarket fender, a rebuilt bumper. Those all void the warranty. And the reason why is because these vehicles are literally high-tech computers that have wheels on them, literally, right? And so they're designed at a specific rate of speed once you have an impact. And that rate of speed that it's designed to collapse at is coordinated with the airbag system, as an example. And so faster than you can blink your eye, when you have an impact, the impact sensor for the airbag sends a signal to the airbag control module, and that sends a signal to the steering column to deploy the airbag. What people need to understand is if you use a different kind of part, it changes that timing. The rate that the vehicle collapses and the speed that the airbag is supposed to be working is very, very, very specific. And so if that airbag goes off early because it's been built with the wrong parts or repaired with the wrong parts, then the airbag goes off early, the airbag is going to deploy. And those that have been in an accident, airbags are like big pillows with vent holes on the side of it, right? And so when that airbag deploys, it instantly starts to deflate. So if it deploys too early, it's going to start to deflate and you're going to hit the steering wheel.
Yeah.
If it deploys too late, you're going to start moving forward from the impact, and then the airbag is going to blow you back into the seat at about 400 miles an hour. And so, you know, the insurance company is going to tell you it's okay. These parts come with a warranty. They come with a warranty from the people that make them. They are not in alignment and they are not warranted by the car manufacturer. And the car manufacturers aren't warrantying them because they know and they understand that these parts are not going to react the same way in the event of an accident, and it's going to mess with that timing, and that timing is down to the split second. So it can't be a split second off, because otherwise you're either hitting the steering wheel or it's blowing you back into the seat.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, I really appreciate that, because this is so important for people to recognize why this is so important that they're working with the right people to repair their car. And of course, you're not everywhere, but this is so good for wherever you are. And I really want to get into this topic about the insurance company, because I'm going to say it's not Bob, or Sally, who's your local agent, who you may have known for 20 years. I'm talking about the big behemoth. And, from my own personal experience, I can attest that to that big corporate giant, you're just a number. Your children, they're just a number. They've got a price tag on them. They don't care. Bob, Sally, they care, right? But when you're working with figuring out what needs to happen to protect you and your family, this is where you need to be working with someone who's an advocate for you through this insurance process. And I know, Louie, that you provide that. And this is, for many people, this is sort of a challenge and can feel intimidating. So can you talk about how important it is that you hire a body shop that's going to be your partner, your advocate, and really guide you through this labyrinth and maze of getting your claim paid in full?
Sure, I'd be happy to. One of the things that I've done for Sharp Auto Body is I've surrounded myself and the company with a team of professionals. And one of the things that we do is we help people navigate through the process, because you hit the nail on the head. It's actually inspired me to write a book. I'm in the process of writing a book called Leadership and Love. You touched this at the beginning. I believe it can be a win-win situation. Right now, the big insurance companies, and you don't have to believe me. You can go do some research, go to Facebook, and lots of places on the internet. It'll show you. But what they're doing is they've really made it all about profit. And to your point, they don't care about the policyholder. It's really bad when somebody's hit you. I advised a man this morning, as a matter of fact, to go through his own insurance, because we've got about $8,000 worth of damage, and the insurance company that hit him is saying all we're going to pay is $1,800. You have to pay the rest out of your pocket. There's no contractual agreement between you and the insurance company of somebody else, but there is a contractual agreement between you and your insurance company. So often it's best to move that policy, or that claim rather, to your policy, because the good news is the other insurance company's already taken responsibility and liability. So it's not going to be a claim against your driving record, and it's not going to make your prices go up. So at that point, we help them determine what to do. Then when the insurance company gives them pushback, we inform them and educate them on what their rights are. So one of the things most people don't know is you have a thing in your insurance policy called an RTA, right to appraisal. Now, in Illinois, State Farm does not have a right to appraisal. So I tell people all the time, if you have State Farm, you want to run in the opposite direction as fast as possible and get insurance with anybody, because that right to appraisal is everything that you need to get the car repaired correctly. I've got paperwork. I mean, I've got a folder full of it, but I'll give you just two quick examples on how we helped our clients. One of them had a Progressive claim. Progressive said, all we're going to pay is $3,200. And Progressive tried to get them to understand and believe that that's all it needed to repair their vehicle. Well, it was a Nissan. We're Nissan certified. So we did all those things I told you about in the repair process and disassembly. And so we actually got paid over $13,000 to repair their vehicle correctly. Liberty Mutual just did the same thing on a claim for a longtime client of ours, a doctor and his wife. And they wrote it, Liberty Mutual wrote it for $5,000. We got paid almost $16,000. In those examples, the insurance company was short paying $10,000. Here's what's really interesting, Lynn. When we help people advocate for themselves and educate them on how to navigate through the process, our clients are winning 100% not 85 or 90 or 90, 100% of the time. That's because when we go out to the world and use third-party appraisers and sometimes umpires, the whole world knows how to repair vehicles correctly. By the way, so do insurance companies. They just don't want to pay for it, right? They're
Yeah.
doing everything they can in their power to drive the price of that cost down. And they're using intimidating, bullying, lying, cheating. Some of it's immoral, some of it's unethical, and some of it's flat out illegal. And one of the things that they do is a thing called steering. So they try and get you to steer you to a specific shop. Steering is a federal offense. It's against the law, but that doesn't stop insurance companies from doing it. And as the consumer and the policyholder, like we said at the beginning, you want to be smart enough to know if the insurance company is telling you to go to a specific shop, that should be setting off all the bells and whistles in your brain saying, this is the wrong way to go. I need to go do some research. And one of the best ways to do that is ask, right? Ask your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, relatives, those kind of people. Hey, if have you been in an accident? Where did you go? And then it's really easy. Go do some stuff in today's world. Go online, check for their Google reviews, their Yelp reviews. Go to their website. See what they are. They iCar certified? Are they OEM certified? Are they manufacturer certified? These are all things that you can check really, really easily. And then at that point, you're educating yourself. And you've touched on a number of things that are all really important, right? But really, the safety, we care about the safety of the people you're putting in that car. We care about the people that could possibly be hurt because your car isn't going to operate the way it's supposed to. And we're also concerned about your financial well-being, because a lot of times if somebody did $3,000 worth of repairs on a vehicle that needed $13,000, at some point you're going to pay the price for that. At some point you're going to go trade it in, and somebody's going to say, hey, look, your trade-in value is $10,000 less because there's $10,000 worth of damage that was never repaired.
Right. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's coming out of your hip pocket if you don't get exactly what you deserve in having the quality repair done on your vehicle, let alone the whole safety side, which for me, being a mom, is huge. It's just absolutely huge. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that.
No.
So, and I want to, I think that what you're talking about and how you go about this is so important, because it sounds like people need like a short checklist about what are the key things that they need to be looking for so that they get the right type of facility. And so if we talked about the checklist is, are they iCar certified? Are they certified by the manufacturers? Are they OEM certified? What are their reviews on Google, Yelp, Facebook, etc.? What's the average of those reviews? Ask your neighbors, your friends, your coworkers, because most likely someone has been in an accident and they could have had either a good or bad experience. And then be very wary, if not downright skeptical, of anyone that your insurance company points you to, because not Bob or Sally, your local agent, but the big behemoth, they're just looking for how cheap can they go. And that's all they're looking at. Do I have that checklist about right?
Yes, you're very accurate. And you said something in there too that I'd like to kind of expound on. And that is that the agent has been taken out of the claims process. If you'll notice, most companies have an 800 number.
Yeah.
And that's because they don't want the agent referring their clients to a specific shop. And so they use the 800 number so they can control the entire claims process. So most of the time when the agent is involved, they have no idea of what the big behemoth, the claims department behind the scenes, is doing. And one of the things that one of the tactics that they use, the insurance companies, is they'll use the tactics of telling you that, you're going to have to pay for things out of your pocket if you go to Sharp Auto Body. Nothing's further from the truth, but that's because we know how to negotiate the process. And it's one of the reasons why they are actively steering clients away from Sharp Auto Body, because they know we're going to get paid the full amount. And so they're doing everything they can. Here's something else that's really important, Lynn. In this process of going through the checklist, I would ask the shop, if somebody's referred you to a shop, I would ask them, are you a direct repair program shop for any insurance companies? If that shop says yes, we are, I would run like crazy in the opposite direction from that situation too. And here's the reason why. I don't have any direct repair programs, and I haven't for years and years. The direct repair program is a broken model. And what happens is the insurance company comes to a shop and says, if you give us these labor rate discounts, if you give us these parts discounts, if you don't charge us for total losses, if you don't charge us for storage, we're going to send you clients. So the body shop, not being a good business person, but hungry for work, says, okay, and they sign the contract.
Okay, so Louie, talking more about the insurance company and the advocacy, and also what happens when people, they're just not used to being in this experience. They haven't had this happen. And when they call in, they're not actually working with their local agent, Bob or Sally. Normally, I know that in my experience, they immediately push you into some, unknown ether. You don't know where these people are that are working with you on the claim. And they start some of their different things that happen with that impersonal approach. Can you talk about that and what that scenario looks like, what's happening, so people are aware and how to protect themselves?
Sure, that's a very good question, Lynn. So the first piece of that is that what the insurance company has done, all the insurance companies have taken the insurance agent out of the claims process. If you'll notice, to your point, if you call in to file a claim, they give you the 1-800 number, and then you're right. You're out there in that ether talking to somebody, literally could be around the world. That's the first piece of it. The second part of that is this is where they start their verbiage and their scripting on trying to send you to a specific shop. And again, there's a thing called a DRP, direct repair program. And what happens in that direct repair program is ABC Auto Body signs a contract with the insurance company. And they sign that contract saying that ABC Auto Body is going to give them a labor rate discount, a parts discount, and those kinds of things. And then at that point, when the insurance company, when you call and have a claim, the insurance company's trying to steer you to that shop because they're looking for the best price for them. Now, I want to repeat what I said earlier. Steering is a federal offense. The federal government has said the insurance company cannot tell you where to go. But they're going to try really hard, and they've got all kind of verbiage to intimidate you, to bully you, to get you to go to ABC Auto Body. Now, what I want you to understand about ABC Auto Body is two things. ABC Auto Body has now signed this contract, and they're going to repair a vehicle for $50 an hour for this insurance company, where they've got other cars in the shop, say at $70 an hour. So which car are they going to do a quality repair on? The one at $70 an hour. This other one down here where they got $50 an hour and giving up parts discounts, they got to get that out of the shop as quickly as possible. There's some of the big consolidator shops like Gerber and those kinds of companies that are now guaranteeing the insurance company's cycle time. This DRP program, direct repair program, is a broken model because one, if I've got it, or the ABC Auto Body, either it was any business owner, but if ABC Auto Body's got a vehicle out here at $75 an hour and one at $50 an hour, it's really clear which one they're going to try and get out and hack. And in the collision repair industry, net profit averages about 10%. So if ABC Auto Body gives up a parts discount and a labor rate discount, they're already a negative number. So they've got to do something on this repair to cut that repair so they can make profit and get it out as fast as possible because they got all these other $75 jobs. The other thing that's really important to know about the DRP direct repair program is, and one of the reasons why it's a broken model, is because when your insurance company sends you to ABC Auto Body, ABC Auto Body didn't do anything to earn you as a client. And you as a marketing expert and specialist, seriously, it's a lot of hard work, right? The most expensive client we get is a brand new client. It takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, and you have to build that trust and that relationship. And when you do all that, put all that energy, that time, and that money into that kind of effort, when that client says, yes, we'd like to do business with you, you take really good care of them.
Yeah.
ABC Auto Body is doing none of that. And if they treat you poorly, or you get an unsafe repair, tomorrow the insurance company is sending ABC Auto Body another client, because the insurance company doesn't care about your safety, and they don't care about how well you're taken care of. They only care about the price for them. They only care about profit for the big behemoth that you keep calling them.
Yeah. I mean, and it sounds like that's why they've taken the whole personal relationship with the local agent out of the picture, because, you could have known Bob or Sally for 20 years, and they do are interested in you and your family. And so I can see why that they've moved that away from them, so that they can remove any kind of relationship out of it, so that then they can, in reality, take advantage of the policyholders by making sure that they drive the cost down, because at the end of the day, that's all they're looking at, is that number that they're going to pay out, and they really don't care about the safety, long-term value of the vehicle, or your immediate diminished value or long-term diminished value because of a poor, surface only repair.
Right. And one of the things, so I said earlier, I've built a team of professionals around Sharp Auto Body. One of them's an attorney that specializes in nothing but insurance suits or cases of some sort. I've got a third party adjuster that we use. The other professional I've got on my team is an insurance broker. I can tell you, one of the things I do on a regular basis is refer people to him to go find a company that's going to take care of them when they have a claim. I tell people, if you see your insurance company advertised on TV, radio, billboards, the internet, social media, again, run like crazy in the opposite direction, because they don't, to your point, they don't care about them. And I really feel bad for agents. I hope this podcast gets to as many insurance agents as possible, because the insurance agents, like we just talked about, and again, you're the expert on this, marketing and driving clients to you, right? And be able to get them to know, like, and trust you. Imagine being an insurance agent, you work your butt off to get a new policyholder, and then they have a claim, and the claims process just screws them over. At that point, as the agent for that insurance company, you're out of luck. They're moving to another company that's going to take better care of them, that's going to handle their claims in a more timely, efficient fashion, and that's going to pay everything that they need. At the end of the day, like I said, when we help our clients, 100% of the time they're winning. But the insurance company's built it to make it really difficult, and this poor insurance agent has no control over the price. I had a meeting actually yesterday with an insurance agent. They have no control over the price of the product, and they have no control over the claims process. Yeah. And so now they do all this work that, like, you teach people, you and your clients, how to market and get a clear message on why you help people. And then imagine the poor insurance agent, that's all blown out of the water in one claim, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that what I'm really picking up on here is also for the people who've been in, that accident, and they really are dealing with a lot right then. It's a little overwhelming. It can be very emotional, stressful. But you finding an auto body shop that is going to be your advocate, because that way nothing comes out of your pocket, other than, I mean, if, potentially your deductible, but that's it. All the rest will be covered if you're working with, and the car will be repaired correctly, safely, ensuring your warranty and the value of the vehicle. So I think that piece is so critical, that when you're in that moment, that you really consider how important it is that you have somebody who's on your side, who's got your back. And I know that this is something that you really focus on, of making sure that your clients, your customers, get that level of attention and detail.
Yeah, we do. And we do it. The other day we spent an hour, myself and one of my estimators, I spent an hour with a woman, and I told her, and at the end of the day, we try and help them also figure out what's in their best financial interest. And she had bought a vehicle It's a long story. It had prior damage. But my point is yes, regardless of the situation, we help educate and advocate for our clients and get them through the process for what's in their best interest. And often it's not uncommon for us to help people really grasp that because nobody else is looking out for them. And to your point, what the other part of it is that once you've done your homework, like the checklist you mentioned earlier, at that point you can trust the professional that you've chosen, the shop that you've chosen. And our clients, we've been here 43 years, and I'm on third generation in some families. So we've been here a long time, and people trust us. One of the reasons why is because we're truthful, and everything we ever show or tell people, we can document in black and white. The insurance company, it's just hearsay, right? They make stuff up, but we've got everything in black and white to refute everything the insurance company tells our clients.
Yeah.
The other thing that's important in this is that at some point, once you've picked that shop and you're comfortable with them, and it's like anything else, right? You can go interview the shop owner or the estimators and ask them, show you, let them, can you walk me through the shop? Can you show me what you're talking about? Do those things. I had a gentleman about a month ago. The insurance company told him that they were going to pay $2,000, that he was supposed to pay us, and that he was going to pay, and that they were going to reimburse him the $2,000. As a matter of fact, it was a State Farm claim. And I told him, I said, don't do it. State Farm's not telling you the truth. They're not going to reimburse you that $2,000. He said, no. I'm going to pay the $2,000. They're going to reimburse me. And the $2,000 was a bill he owed to us. State Farm, technically, legally, contractually, State Farm owed the $2,000. But they got him to bite. And after he paid the bill, State Farm said, no, we didn't tell you that. No, we're not reimbursing you that $2,000. And then he came through the door and he's really mad at me. He said, I want my money back. I said, I'd love to help you, but your $2,000 that you paid me paid your bill. Your issue is with State Farm. State Farm told you they were going to reimburse you the $2,000. I told you not to. It's crazy, and I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but you tell your clients all the time things that are going to work. I've been here, like I said, 43 years. I study the industry. I currently read a lot of books on insurance and claims and policies and procedure and law. I've educated myself on law in the state of Illinois, right? And the consumers' rights and all those things. And so it's crazy to me when somebody asks a highly skilled trained professional and then ignores the advice, right? It's like going to your plumber and asking him what, about open heart surgery. You're just barking up the wrong tree. But if you go to an open heart surgeon and you've done your homework and you've got a good open heart surgeon and he tells you it's time to stand on your head and spit nickels, then you start standing on your head and spit nickels because he's the expert.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, that is such an unfortunate story, but you're right. I mean, that's so critical, that transparency that is provided, and also that the money is being paid by the insurance company. That's what you pay them. All that money for all those years is for them to pay the claim, right? They are responsible for that. So, I mean, this has been such a fascinating conversation, Louie, and I really appreciate this, but I want to have another. What should our listeners do next to protect themselves and their loved ones when they're looking for a car repair service?
Well, one of the things I'm going to do, Lynn, to help add value to you and your listeners is they could go to Sharp Auto Body, all spelled out, run together, SharpAutobody, sharpautobody.com. And I understand that, you're a rock star podcaster and you got over 60,000 listeners and followers and all that good stuff. And so I'm going to tell you again, and I mean this, that this is how much I care about people, even if I don't do the repair. And that is they can reach us at Sharp Auto Body. They can email us from there. They can phone us. And so if they've been in an accident and they're not sure, or somebody's telling them something, myself and my team would be happy to walk them through that process of exactly what to do, what their rights are. And also we've got a bunch of forms and contracts and that kind of stuff that they can use. I just helped a client this morning with Geico who's pushing back, and they made some stuff up that isn't even in the policy language. So I do all that stuff. So yeah, your listeners could go to www.sharpautobody.com, and we're going to be happy to help them through the process. If they're in the area, we'd love to do the repair. But if they're outside of our geographic area, then we'd be happy to help them just the same. And I can tell you, to your point, I have a big network across the nation. I've been a speaker, a keynote speaker at some of the Body Shop Association meetings, Fender Bender Magazine, those kinds of things. So, and I actually referred somebody called me and said, hey, I was in an accident. I'm up in Minnesota. Who should I go to? And I said, Lafferty Brothers. Let me make the phone call. I'll make the connection. So if your listeners are someplace outside of Illinois or in Southern Illinois, then I'd be happy to help them in any way I can. But I've got a network that I can probably connect them to a shop that, and I would say that nationally, maybe 5 on the high side, 10% of the body shops are operating the way we're operating. But those are the people that I stay connected to.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, Louie, is there anything you wish that I had asked you that I did not?
Great question. You ask great questions. Yes, I can tell you this. I think that most of us, women are really powerful at this. A lot of men have disconnected from it. It's called your intuition or your heart. And so one of the things I would highly recommend is, how do you feel? If you've been in an accident and you hit the nail on the head, it's traumatic. You go through a lot of stuff. Most people are scared. They're scared of the insurance company. They're scared of what it's going to do to their insurance rates, the price of insurance going up, all those things. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision on who's going to repair that vehicle. And my piece of advice of that is, go to your heart. Go to the shop. Talk to the people. What does it look like? What's the environment? What's the camaraderie? Most importantly, how does that place make you feel, right? If that shop gives you a warm fuzzy, like I like to call it, if that shop gives you a warm fuzzy, then this is a good place to go. If you get that, I'm not so sure, stay away from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust your gut. That
Right.
intuition is so important. So that was wonderful, Louie. I'm so glad that you had that, because that's a perfect way to wrap up today. And thank you so much for sharing how to ensure your car repair protects your investment and your loved ones. And I know that you've already done it, but one more time, where can our listeners find out more about you, Louie?
Sure, they can go to www.sharpautobody.com.
All right. And all of Louie's links will be down below, so he's one click away. And thank you for that very generous offer so that people could use you as a resource in whatever area they're in to get to a quality repair shop. That is really so heart and generous. Thank you so much. And thank you to all of our listeners who joined us today. I thoroughly enjoy bringing these types of informative discussions to you so that you can be better prepared if and when you're ever in this type of situation and been in an accident. And Louie, thank you again so much. This has been just amazing.
Well, and thank you, Lynn. When we speak about heart, you play full out from your heart. And it's one of the reasons why I love you. And I'm so happy to be here. And thank you again, because I love you. I love who you are. I love who you're being in the world. And I love that you're doing this kind of work to help so many people. And I'm just happy to be part of it.
What was your biggest takeaway from this episode? I would love to hear about it. It's important to share the things you love. If you loved this episode, a 5-star review really helps keep the podcast coming to you regularly. Also, if you want to get more sales strategies to grow your business, make sure you subscribe right now. If you want to get results even faster, I invite you to download my sales strategy checklist at petitetoqueen.com/checklist. This has been Lynn Whitbeck, host of Claim Your Career Crown. I'll see you next time.